For years, whispers within the music industry have circulated about troubling dynamics behind the scenes of fame, power, and mentorship. Among the most persistent are rumors suggesting that something deeply unsettling may have occurred between Sean Diddy Combs and a young Usher Raymond. These stories, intense enough to spark talk of hospital visits and emotional fallout, have long lived in the shadows of celebrity culture. While many chose to dismiss such speculation as gossip or conspiracy, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson has repeatedly refused to let the conversation die. To him, these aren't just rumors, they are symptoms of a pattern he believes has shaped the entertainment industry for decades. 50 Cent has been vocal in interviews and media appearances, emphasizing that these are not allegations he invented. "These aren't my claims," he has stated plainly. But ignoring them isn't an option. His frustration doesn't sound like outrage for attention. It sounds like
Don't hit me no more. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, hey, hey.
Bieber got by Diddy.
It's not our fault that Usher didn't want to get fucked by Diddy anymore. It is not our fault that Usher didn't want to get fucked by Diddy no more.
Certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business. Right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led
exhaustion. As someone who has survived violence, betrayal, and systemic exploitation, he speaks with the weariness of a man who has seen how power operates when it goes unchecked. In his view, the industry has long masked its darkest truths behind glamour, wealth, and success, demanding silence from those who benefit and punishing those who speak too loudly. The story begins in the early 1990s. When Usher was barely 14 years old, gifted, ambitious, and still learning how to navigate an industry far larger and more dangerous than he could fully understand. At the time, L.A. Reid, co-founder of LaFace Records, believed that placing the young singer under the guidance of Sean Diddy Combs in New York City would sharpen his edge and accelerate his growth. Diddy was already deeply immersed in nightlife, wealth, and influence, a powerful figure who shaped trends and commanded rooms. To many observers, the arrangement looked like an extraordinary mentorship opportunity. To 50 Cent, it represented something far more
complex. What happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that. And they may be doing something, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executive.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that. And then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And was probably say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas. I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get them early. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the f did Puff just say? Nobody's going to acknowledge this with me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen,
we're having a good time.
Complicated. The uneasy coexistence of opportunity and risk. In the trailer for his upcoming documentary series, 50 reflects on how the music business has historically justified questionable decisions under the banner of development. He argues that moments like a teenage artist being placed in a mogul's household in the name of art became symbolic of a broader industry pattern, one where rising fame often demanded vulnerability, innocence, and silence as the price of entry. These decisions were framed as necessary rites of passage, rarely questioned as long as success followed. Years later, La Reid himself would reflect on that decision with mixed emotions, admitting he could not be certain whether it had been visionary or misguided. His intention was for Usher to absorb a tougher, edgier persona, but the long-term impact of that choice remains debated. Usher has since acknowledged that his time in Diddy's world exposed him to experiences he has never fully articulated.
To New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's.
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans. Jodeci, Mary J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than this.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
what
like a living.
Life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
Trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there.
250 Cent. Those carefully chosen words resemble what he calls survivor language statements that express discomfort without explicitly naming it. He believes many who endure harmful environments learn to speak in hints and half-truths, allowing silence to say what they cannot. This concept sits at the heart of 50 Cent's documentary mission. The possibility that behind the glitz and label of mentorship, there may have been manipulation or exploitation. He asks how many uncertain decisions the industry continues to rationalize before confronting its own responsibility. By the late 1990s, Usher had evolved into a global powerhouse. Grammy Awards, multi-platinum albums, and international acclaim cemented his legacy. Much of the industry credited Diddy with helping shape that confidence. 50 Cent challenges that narrative.
His name's Scooter Braun. Flown out to Atlanta just to meet with him and meet different producers and different people. I was actually going to meet Jermaine Dupri at his studio. And who rolls up? Usher in his Range Rover. It rolls up, and I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" And Scooter was like, "Yeah." And so I ran up to him. I was like, Usher, I love your songs. You want me to sing you one? And he was like, let's just go inside, little buddy. It's cold out. So the politest possible way he could say no, he did. And I was like, wow, he just turned me down. And I was a little disappointed. He had to go into a studio session, so I was like, whatever. And a week later, he actually watched my videos with my manager and was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I let him sing? So flew me back to Atlanta where I got to meet him again. And he wanted to sign me. But there was something else.
Justin Timberlake, right?
Yes, Justin Timberlake also wanted to sign me. It was like kind of like what happened was Justin Timberlake and Usher both went into a ring and boxed it out. And the outcome was Usher. I think it was just.
How dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right.
Suggesting the strength people admired may have been forged under pressure rather than nurtured through support. They tear you down to rebuild you in their image, he argued in one interview. That's not mentorship, that's control. In his view, Diddy's era of influence produced stars. But it also fostered a culture of silence where success became the ultimate justification. If the artist thrived, the process was defended no matter the cost. Hits and headlines were celebrated, while the potential harm behind closed doors went unexamined. Years later, another moment deepened 50 Cent's concern. When Usher introduced a 14-year-old Justin Bieber to L.A. Reid, referring to him as a beautiful young talent, 50 says something shifted. To him, young artists were being spoken about like trophies rather than people. Bieber, like Usher before him, was quickly welcomed into the same influential circles that once surrounded Diddy. Old footage later resurfaced, showing a teenage Bieber calling Diddy Uncle Puff and spending time at his home. Images that, in hindsight, have prompted renewed scrutiny. 50 Cent interpreted these moments.
Me plus you, I'ma tell you one time. I'ma tell you one time. I'ma tell you one time. One time when I met you, come on. Wow.
I ain't gonna stop you like that, but this is only a tease. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you, Island Def Jam recording artist, Justin Bieber. It's getting ready to go down. Just so you know, we're in the studio right now working on it. Get ready because it's gonna be big. Ain't that right, Justin?
That's right.
That's right. So look out. We're coming.
So Cameron, he did an interview and he told a story about how he went to Diddy house with mates.
Yeah.
And he fought the dildo in the sink.
I think that was crazy. I think that was out of, and then May said that was Puff's. I think he said Mace said that was Puffs, but Mace was in the bathroom with it. I don't know what that was all about, man, but that was real weird to me. That was crazy.
Crazy, man. But before we get off of that, right, I remember you told me a while ago that, you know, Mace, he used to live with Diddy, and he know a lot of stuff about Diddy that a lot of people don't know.
Man, it's a lot of stuff that Mace and Usher know that they ain't telling about Diddy. There's a lot of stuff that they know. Can you imagine, bruh? Can you really imagine?
What you mean by Usher, though?
Usher used to stay with Diddy, too, when he was younger. And this was years ago. So the locks ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. This the kind of... Man, listen here. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But I want to talk about this lawsuit by God, right? And I want to get your opinion on it. What's the part in this lawsuit where she alleges that she was at a dinner with Neo, Usher, and Jimmy Iovine, and Diddy, he punched Cassie in the stomach and no one did anything. How you feel about that?
They were part of the dinner and they watched Cassie get abused in front of Puffy abused Cassie in front of them. And neither one of those men, and they probably security was around too, did nothing to stop what he had did to Cassie. Now that's just crazy right there, bro. That is just crazy. Usher probably got a daughter. Neo probably got kids. I don't know. Jimmy Iovine, you know, he take about 15, 20 scoops of sugar in his coffee. So all those cats there, supposed to be men, watch that lady get abused right there in public, and they did nothing, brother. They did nothing. That goes to show you the power that he had mentally over them. Here go a woman witnesses, and this witnessing it and said, they said nothing. Yo, man, stop. Don't do that. Yo, not here, bro. Easy. Nothing. Don't do nothing. Say something. She said they didn't do anything and they didn't say nothing. That's the bad thing about it. If you're not going to do nothing, open your damn mouth and say something. And that's a lot wrong with our people right now.
Moments as part of a recurring pattern, newcomers embraced as family, then treated as if they belonged to the system itself. He argues that mentorship can blur into control when power goes unchecked. From his perspective, the industry has a long history of presenting ambitious young talent with glittering promises, framing intense access and influence as guidance or affection, even when critics argue it may mask manipulation. By the time Justin Bieber was 15, he was already navigating the crushing pressure of global fame, caught between admiration and vulnerability. Diddy positioned himself as a mentor, a relationship some now view with skepticism. 50 Cent has said there were reasons he kept his distance from certain environments. That lifestyle wasn't for me, he explained. You don't put kids in those spaces. His words carry new weight today as old interviews, footage, and recollections resurface, casting familiar moments in a troubling new light. To 50, none of the current shock is surprising. He believes the signs were always there. His takeaway is stark. Sometimes self-preservation isn't about fearlessness, but about knowing when to step away before you're pulled in. He credits that distance with protecting him. As recent accusations and legal actions gain momentum, reports suggest Justin Bieber has been distancing himself from Diddy, allegedly reevaluating his own early experiences in the industry. Usher, meanwhile, remains guarded, careful to protect a career shaped within the same ecosystem now under scrutiny. Another layer of this story emerges through accounts from figures like Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, who has shared unsettling anecdotes involving Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, and internal conflicts that eventually led to his departure. These stories paint a picture of an
IG live that Puffy and his mom did, and Puffy, he was shouting out Mason, showing him love for, you know, him being a part of the No Way Out album. And, you know, his mom, she cut it in, and, you know, I guess she didn't like him shouting out Mace, and she made a comment telling Mace stop messing with her son or whatever.
I guess my Mama wasn't feeling Mace. And Mace is a celebrity. And by him having a platform to say something about her son, you know, she would say that. You understand? I've said more about Mace, I've said more about Diddy than Mace have. But maybe because I'm not a celebrity, I don't have the platform, and he didn't say my name. She didn't say anything about, and you too, Gene Deal. And maybe because she might still find me sexy. She says she looking.
What you mean by that? His mom was trying to talk to you back then?
I don't wanna. What? That's how we fell out, bruh. That's how we fell out. You don't know? I thought you watched the Gene Deal show, Art.
Man. Tell me about that. Y'all ain't know that.
Oh my God. Yo, one day, Puff and Justin was in the office, right? And sometimes I gotta watch Justin, but since the grandma up there, you know, she watching Justin sometimes, I still gotta keep my eye on Puff. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know who security gonna let up sometimes, and this, that, and the third. So it used to she used to have a restaurant, and she used to bring food up to the office and give it to people, right? So this one particular time, you know, she used to always do innuendos to me. Gene, why you don't never Gene, why you don't never why you don't like that? But I never even, you know, paid her any attention because it's always Miss Combs. It ain't Mama Combs, it ain't Janice, it's Miss Combs. You understand? I gave her that respect. But she used to always throw in the windows, and you know when somebody find you somewhat attractive. And then because I used to get in Puff ass, because Puff used to be disrespectful around his mother. You understand? I'm glad they got a better relationship and they got a better understanding, because she know I said it before. You understand? When he cursed out, we was getting in a limousine. This when the office was on 19th Street and 5th Avenue. He said, didn't I tell you to stay out of my motherfucking business? He was talking to his mother. And I said, boy, let me tell you something. If I ever hear you cuss your mother again, I'm gonna beat the shit out you. You ain't gonna bring nothing but bad luck to us. Don't you ever cuss your mother. But I told her to stay out of my business. Nigga, you wouldn't have no business if it wasn't for her. I'm not playing with you, man. Now you need to apologize to her. She slammed the door because she was gonna get a limo with us at this time. She just left and went the other way. Now, we was in the office one time. This one time, Justin she brought some food up. And she like, Gene, I need you to go downstairs and get this food out the truck or the van or whatever she had on down there. I need to get out there. I said, and all these people's in the office. It's 1,000 interns that could have did that shit. But I know she just wanted to show that she had power over me, and I would never give her no power over me. You understand? Because she used to always ask me to do shit. I know what, you know, she probably really wanted me to do, but I wasn't feeling that. So now, I'm sitting there like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not here for that. So she got all messed, riled up. Everybody do what I tell them to do except you. Who do you think you are? Something like that. I said, I'm here for Puff. Anything happen to him while I go down there getting your food, it's a situation. Puff overheard the thing. And Puff came out and said, yo, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Why you always messing with Gene? Leave Gene alone. This came out his own mouth in his office. And there's people who was there who witnessed the shit. And from that point on, Paul started getting this other dude from my block, around our block, named Stretch, because he was NYPD, to take my days. And I just said to myself, man, I ain't fucking with that no more. And that's how we fell out. That's how it ended. That's how it ended.
So she was trying to get at you on the low. She was trying to come on to you. That's why she kept messing with you. But you wasn't going for it. You wasn't checking for it like that. You wasn't interested.
Not at all. No, I was gonna knock the dust off that, bro. Not me.
You didn't find her attractive?
No.
Environment marked by blurred boundaries, power struggles, and discomfort details that further complicate the narrative of family-like loyalty often promoted by the bad boy brand. Today, Diddy's once unquestioned influence faces unprecedented strain. Federal investigations, lawsuits, and widespread public criticism have cast a shadow over his legacy. 50 Cent has positioned himself at the forefront of documenting this reckoning. His forthcoming series, tentatively titled Did He Do It?, aims to trace the arc from early protégés like Usher and Bieber to broader questions about power, mentorship, and abuse within the entertainment industry. He is careful to clarify that he does not see himself as a prosecutor or judge. Instead, he frames his role as that of an archivist, collecting accounts, testimonies, and accusations he believes the industry has long tried to bury. I didn't create these claims, he has said. I simply refused to pretend they weren't there. Whether praised or criticized, 50 Cent has become a confrontational voice holding up a mirror many in entertainment would rather avoid. As applause fades and spotlights dim, the unanswered questions remain. What began as rebellious commentary has evolved into a mission to expose long-ignored issues. For 50 Cent, the focus is not solely on Diddy, Usher, or Bieber, but on an entire system that has historically valued results over well-being. His message reverberates through every allegation and legal battle. If success is sustained by fear and silence, it is not a legacy, it is a warning.